about, Ben, where you've been demonstrating that the intention is for the state to control media to the lowest possible level. And here we are with Sandy and Clive de Carle effectively being banned under this system.
Indeed, they are, yes. And I was under the impression that Glastonbury was a hotbed of radical thinking and freedom, but maybe it isn't. Just a quick question for you, Sandy. You may have mentioned this. Apologies if I missed it. But the World Heritage status, does that come from UNESCO? So that's essentially a UN compliance issue, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, there's various World Heritage sites across Britain, particularly in Bath. I mean, a lot of the residents are really not happy with what's happened there, because as soon as you get World Heritage status, the whole infrastructure is there for World Heritage status. So you get more tourism and stuff like that. And it becomes more about tourism and less about the people that live there. So the cost of living goes up. There's nowhere to live because it's all Airbnbs, the usual story. Yeah. And also corporatization, all the corporates come in. That's it.
Just another gravy train, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so cynical. And obviously another dynamic to Glastonbury, people certainly in the UK will be aware of the Glastonbury Music Festival, and that itself, again, which is supposedly certainly presents itself as a hotbed of radical thinking and, edginess and creativity, is absolutely slap bang in the middle of the climate agenda. And I actually flagged up this report a couple of weeks ago, which is the Global Mutarao, the global collective effort that is being run by Mission 25, which is basically the very, very top level global campaign backed by absolutely everybody, driving towards COP30 in Brazil at the end of this year. And on their relatively short list of events that they've got mapped out through 25, so what are there? There's probably 12 events there. One of them is Glastonbury. So in their summer run, May and June, Glastonbury, the music festival, they've pegged that as a key moment in this global effort driving towards energy transformation, system transformation. So the Glastonbury is right at the thick of this. It's a really interesting exemplar in a number of different ways of what's going on in the country and further afield. And I'm sticking in the West Country and with the issue of local corruption. And I really enjoyed this quote, which I did share last year, from Marvin Rees, now known as Lord Rees of Easton. He's been elevated into the Lords at the start of this year. And he said, never underestimate the power of very small politics to get in the way of very big delivery. And obviously, he's on the side of very big delivery. And you, Sandy, and us, and I'd imagine most other people watching this, we're on the side of very small politics. And what is that phrase? If you don't think that you can make a big difference being small, I'm going to absolutely butcher this, but try sleeping in a room with a mosquito. I think it was Mandela or Desmond Tutu or someone like that who said that, but he's absolutely right. It shows he probably didn't mean to do this, but it does demonstrate that actually small actions at a local level can really get in the way of big delivery, right? And that's what Lord Rees is all about. And actually, he's a great example of, quite frankly, just the enormous hypocrisy and corruption in the system, in the climate agenda. And I want to just highlight a couple of things relating to Lord Rees. There was this instance a couple of years ago. Bristol City Council bans local democracy reporters from press briefings, right? So we can see at the bottom there, the decision by Bristol Council follows a question asked by a local democracy reporter, actually, one of the BBC schemes. So unfortunately for the BBC, one of their people was doing his job. Alex Seabrook was asking Mayor Marvin Rees about his decision to fly to Canada in April for a 14-minute TED Talk on climate change. Yes, Marvin Rees, if climate change is a big issue, why are you flying to Canada for a 14-minute talk? Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Well, I tell you what, we'll just ban you from the briefings. That's what he did. Yeah. I mean, that's just remarkable, isn't it? And as it turns out, he's not just what would you say, allergic to criticism. He's also, apparently, it would appear, rather partial to getting bunged lots of money by people he's cut deals for while in office. So this a great bit of reporting actually from the Bristol Cable, which came out yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before, basically says that Marvin Rees receives payment from an energy giant that he awarded a massive contract to, right? So we've got this US firm, Amoresco, is now a paying client of Lord Rees of Easton, who struck the £1 billion City Leap decarbonisation deal with the firm when he was Bristol's mayor.
So it's just a coincidence.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think you should be too worried about this at all.
Well, maybe they just thought he was a lovely guy in the meetings, and
Well, the man on the Clapham omnibus might say it's corruption, but I think it was just a coincidence.
Yes, he coincidentally ended up with getting bunged a load of money by Amoresco, and this is fascinating. Sandy's going to come on to this in a minute, right? Because this was one of the largest private deals in Bristol Council history. It was £1 billion to be spent over 20 years. It's going to run until 2042. It's about decarbonising the city's energy network. It involved council staff being transferred to work in the private sector. So essentially selling off component parts of the council to Amoresco and also to an organisation called Vattenfall, which is a Swedish power company, which is a partner of the World Economic Forum. Right, so we talk about this corporatisation of the state and the Great Reset and all of this kind of stuff. They are literally going around, and now publicly available information about specific examples of where corporations who are WEF partners are going around and are acquiring bits of the council signed off by people like Marvin Rees. Right, and actually Amoresco, which was the key participant in this bill, is owned by Vanguard, which holds a 9.3% stake, and BlackRock, which owns a 6.8% stake. So both of the private sector entities involved in this are World Economic Forum partners, either directly or through their ownership structure, right? And Marvin Rees, he hasn't gone away. He's not the mayor anymore, but he, as we said, has been bumped up to the House of Lords. He's a member, if you go to the very bottom line, of the World Economic Forum Global Future Council on the Cities of Tomorrow. And then he's all across C40, Core Cities, 3CI. This guy is extraordinarily influential and powerful, sits right at the nexus of this transformation of the country through new energy systems, new governance systems, mass immigration, like all of the component parts of this radical change agenda. And what does he get for it? He's bumped up and he's now looking splendid in his finery in the House of Lords. Absolutely disgusting.
And once we can see it, or rather, once we can see it, Ben, we can do something about it. The key thing is to expose these people and what they're doing, and to expose the bodies that they're involved in, the non-governmental bodies and the charities and the sustainable development goal groups that are driving this agenda.